Welcome to my channel, Learn Chem Eng with me. So before we dive into any proper chemical engineering videos, I just wanted to make this brief video explaining how the channel is going to work and how it's going to develop into the future, and sort of just as a place for me to look back and see what, sort of reflect on how my content creation and teaching changes over time. None of what I say will be massively concrete. There could be changes over time because it is very much a learning as I go type of project. But essentially, the purpose of this channel is to help me and also help other people grasp chemical engineering more intuitively, and also will just help me sort of revise along the way because I'm a chemical engineering degree student. If you do notice any mistakes with videos or any notes that I will have attached along with videos, please do reach out. I have an email in the channel description that you can reach out to. Please let me know and I'll try to update those as soon as possible. In terms of actual content for this channel, the initial scope is just going to be cool chemical engineering knowledge. So dedicated maths videos or using software like Aspen or MATLAB or any of that stuff, that might come in later, but the original goal is just understanding the core theory. And then I might start introducing maybe exam practice videos, but for now it's just theory. So if you're for example, cramming for exams, this might be less useful for you, but if you're sort of learning as you go along, then hopefully the videos provide some value towards you as well. And again, this might change, but just sort of wanted to have a basis for this channel before we dive into any actual videos. So the units for this channel will be split up into 3 different phases. Phase 1 is made up of the first topic, units and dimensional analysis, and the second topic, mass and energy balances. Now with the first topic, that's sort of just, it will be quick, and it's just about how chemical engineers use units in certain ways, because we have to be sure that we have the right units before we finalize any measurements, because the difference between units can cause lots of destruction if they're not handled properly and carefully. And then dimensional analysis, although it's something you would traditionally come across later on in a chemical engineering degree, it just feels right to put it in there for me because it sort of links in from units. Mass and energy balances could fit into phase 2 as sort of the prerequisite sort of theory that you need to know with chemical engineering. Technically, phase 2 is all about the physics, but I decided to put mass and energy balances first because it's sort of the underpinning of every other topic. If you do it later on, it just doesn't make sense because then you perform no actual chemical engineering, we'll just be learning physics. By having the mass energy balances first, we learn how to apply it later on. And then phase 2 is just sort of the physics and math knowledge that we need to know. I know I said that we're not doing dedicated maths videos, but the maths will be sort of ingrained into the videos itself. And then phase 3 is the actual chemical engineering. We take all that physics and everything, we take all the stuff we learn, we combine it into how we actually engineer the chemicals, and then how we put that into processes, and that will be it. One thing to know is that for topic 5, transport phenomena, if you're doing a degree you might be a bit confused about that because you typically do fluid mechanics, heat transfer and mass transfer as sort of separated modules, and then you do transport phenomena which sort of collects them all together. I just put that all into one module, so that's going to be a very long one there, but just to sort of clear up any confusion. But yeah, that is the plan for this channel so far. If that changes, it could, but so far that's the plan. I'm planning to have units and dimensional analysis come out shortly after this video. But yeah, hopefully these videos are useful to everyone. See you all. Bye bye.